AdWords. So just a quick question, how many people have made a website? Cool. How many people have heard of Google Analytics? Okay, have you guys used Google Analytics? AdWords? Yeah. Interesting, okay. That's what it was in my last class, in my class for NYU. Let's jump into SEO. SEO, as you all know, is search engine optimization. Literally getting... Yeah, this is perfect.
Can I get your coffee? Water from you?
I have water, thank you. I chugged the coffee on the way over. So SEO, search engine optimization, coming up on the first page of Google. Most important thing you can do when optimizing Google, right? Just a few things you can do. So Google lately changes their algorithm, as you all know. It's super complicated and probably confusing, and it is for me too. What they're doing now is focusing on original content. I'm just going to show you, like I said, the company I worked for before this one was an office rental company. Is this going to come up? There you go. I just want to show you, it's a good example of what isn't original content. So this is their website. I didn't help design, that's why I quit. But original content, meaning unique and not copied. So if you see on the bottom of every one of their web pages is this content right here. You guys can all see it. Doesn't matter what it says. The point is that every single page of this website has this text at the bottom. And what that tells Google is that these guys don't know how to write content. We don't know how to be unique, and Google hates us for that. Hated us for that. So we never appeared on the first page for a lot of other reasons, but Google specifically marks these things as ununique and basically gives you a downvote for, you can think of it like that if you go on Reddit. So that's kind of original content. Yeah, do you guys follow any blogs or anything? No blogs? I don't follow blogs either, don't worry. But the idea of blogs and getting on the first page is that you can write interesting content, and that's what Google really likes. So we'll go into HTML. You guys haven't coded at all. Did they do the hour of code?
Of course!
Yeah. Really fun, right? So much fun.
Angry Bird.
So HTML is not what you use. What was the language?
Hypertext markup language?
No. I know what HTML is.
Oh, thanks.
What was the Blockly?
Blockly. That's the name.
Okay.
Yeah. Google Blockly.
Don't think of HTML as coding like Blockly. If you want to see what HTML really looks like, you can just go to any website and you can go to any website, right click, go to inspect element, and you can just see this is all the HTML we have here. Basically just indicating every single element that's on the page. And so it's a much easier version of coding than like regular like Blockly, just because it's all in English. Really, it's not about symbols and stuff like that. Anyway, the idea of optimizing your HTML is basically just having relevant and unique meta titles are really important. So when you guys do a Google search, sorry I'm all over the place. When you guys do a Google search and you type in, like this company sells office space in New York City, and you type that into Google, and you'd see a list of results and we wouldn't be there, but the title that you'd see, the first line of the Google result would be this. So if you typed in 883rd Ave, that's what it's going to say on Google. That's the actual title of the page, and you dictate that in the HTML. And that's what Google ranks you based on how relevant that is to the person's search. And also another really important aspect of HTML is what's called the description meta tag. You guys know what meta tags are, right? You guys were they tested on meta tags?
Is that in your midterm?
All right, so meta tags, do you guys know XML? Okay, so meta tags is basically data that describes data. So meta tag goes in the head. So it's part of the HTML that you don't see, but that Google reads. So as we can see here, this is the meta name of the website. Like you see, this is the meta title. Like I said before, the thing that pops up in the Google search. Another really important part of the meta is the description. And this description, let's see it. So this is basically what, the little text under the title of the Google search result? This is the description. Now Google can pull from this, or sometimes it doesn't. But you're basically telling Google, this is what this page is about. And this used to rank in terms of SEO, getting on the first page, but now people have spammed it and put in so many keywords that Google now doesn't even use this as a ranking. So now people just use this to get people to click through, to say like, this is what makes me unique. And basically it's a one-line sales pitch. which is like why you guys click on the Google results that you do. Do you guys know what an H1 tag is? Awesome. I'll show you. So an H1 tag is basically usually the first thing you see on a website, the thing that makes it unique, makes like what you're looking at. So this is Notify's website. The H1 tag, just another description of HTML, is Know Your Business, Grow Your Business, our tagline. We've been messing around with this a lot. And then the H2, literally just smaller, H1 to H2, is cloud-based management tools for small and medium businesses. This is really important to show Google that this is what this web page is about. This is what this domain notify.com is about. It's about cloud-based management software. Like, that's really important, having those kind of keywords in there. And stuff like that. And then also, it's really important to have a relevant URL. So I'll just show you an example of a relevant URL. You guys all know what a URL is. So a lot of websites that you go to today, they don't have an optimized URL. And normally it would be something like notify.com/ like strfx, like random letters. But Google is actually ranking this more and more that this is a site, this is a web page about engineering management software, and the URL says notify.com/ engineering management software. So it's really important that that matches up with your H1, matches up with your title tag, matches up with the description. Those are really important things to keep in mind if you're ever making a website. In terms of internal links, literally the links that are inside your website. How I like to structure it is I use an XML. This is just something you submit to Google, and I'll show you how you submit it later. This tells Google how my website is structured. So this way, like, it doesn't have to figure it out on its own. It can just go and say, oh, notify.com links to all of these pages, like the domain name links to these web pages. And now it knows how it's structured, just making Google's robot's job a little bit easier. So this is just called an XML. I'll show you again how you submit one. So it's really important that you have something like an XML, again, to show Google how your data is linked. Having a really fast site is really important for Google. You guys know that Google does their search results in 0.01 seconds, so you can understand that they want other websites to be just as fast. And then keywords. Do they know anything about keywords or stuff like that? You guys can answer that for yourselves, I guess. Have you guys done any kind of keyword stuff? Do you know what a keyword is? Someone tell me what a keyword is. Just so I can drink some water. Can you tell me what a keyword is? I don't mean to call you out. I'm sorry. All right, I'll tell you what a keyword is. So a keyword is literally the thing that you're trying to rank for. Rank meaning trying to get on the first page of Google for. A keyword could be, men's shoes. That's a keyword. I just searched it. So the idea is that ASOS, you guys probably know ASOS, they have a lot of words on the page that include the term men's shoes, and that's the keyword they were targeting. And you can see that keyword's in their title, it's in their description, and it's probably all over their webpage. So it's really important that you find these keywords that you want to target. I'll go into a little bit how you find those keywords. That makes sense? The keyword thing? Oh, cool. You guys are way more responsive than NYU. When I ask a question at NYU, everyone just kind of stares at me. It's uncomfortable. So you guys nod. So we'll talk. Oh no, we're not doing keywords yet. Okay, so that was on-page SEO. I like to think of SEO in two ways: on-page and off-page. Now, off-page, Google's first search engine was made in I think 1996. So let's just go in 1996. And the only ranking factor it had was how many links a website had to it. Literally, like how many websites linked to that website. And every single link that website got counted as an upvote for it. But now Google, obviously, a lot more complicated, but they still rank links as like one of the #1 indicators of an important website. So, I mean, you guys can imagine there are a lot of ways of building links, and it's like a whole industry of itself in terms of digital marketing. But relevance is starting to be more and more important. So if I'm Notify, I'm business management software, it's a lot more important for me to be in a tech magazine instead of a fashion magazine. Even though the two websites would give me the same amount of credit from Google, it doesn't matter. Tech is related to my industry, and fashion isn't. So Google wouldn't really like that I have a fashion link. And there's something called follow versus no follow. Like I've been saying, like links and upvotes, basically those links are follow links. So follow, basically you can think of any link that links to my website that gives me an upvote, and no follow you don't get an upvote for. So something like Google Plus, if I go on Google Plus communities and I post my blog posts in a lot of like contractors and plumbers and engineers just to get their attention, but all of those links that I'm submitting to Google, I don't get any upvotes for because they're no follow links, meaning that people can go through them, but robots don't count them as an upvote. Kind of hard to explain. Was that a good explanation of no follow? I'm trying to explain no follow in a simple way.
In this context, that's fine.
All right. It's not that important. Just link building. Guest blogging, understandable. Ahrefs, anyone ever use Ahrefs? It's a really popular website that digital marketers use to see competitors' links. So I can go on and type in one of my competitors' domain names, and it'll pull up all of the links that website has to it. So that way I can go and say, I want that link, and then I'll contact that blog and try to get a link because they've already linked to my competitors. It's a really useful tool. And then you guys are already on social media right now, so you understand how to optimize it. You know what businesses you're following and what they're doing well. So this is a really interesting study by a company called Moz, which is just a digital marketing agency. They did this 2 years ago, and they do it every year, but this is showing the correlation of #1 search results in Google to basically SEO practices. You could think of them as that. And it used to be, like I said, in 1996, the only factor here would be link building, would be links. It would be one. But as Google changes its algorithms, things become more and more important. Keep in mind, these are just correlations, but these are the top ones. And number of Google Plus ones has just reached the top of the charts, which is showing that Google wants businesses to use Google Plus, which we don't. Do you guys use Google Plus?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, most people don't use it. I mean, we all have accounts, but it's just we have to. But this is really important. That this is always changing. So it creates more and more of a demand for digital marketing experts, not kind of like me. So like I said, I've been alluding to keywords. So this is how I go about choosing my keywords very, very quickly. This is in AdWords, which I'll go over later. But basically, let's say men's shoes. I'm a company who sells men's shoes, and I really want to rank for that keyword, but I want to see if that's a competitive keyword, if I can rank for it, how much it's going to cost me, if I want to bid on that keyword, we'll talk about later. So they have a keyword planner where I can literally punch in a new keyword, and they can bring back advice for me. So I punched in, we were doing a hotel project. So I punched in the key term hotels near Prague Castle, and it shows me how many monthly searches, how competitive it is, which is high, it's low, medium, or high. The suggested bid, it's 0. It's because there's only 10 searches a month. And then the impression share, you guys don't know about. But these are some of the suggestions. They give you thousands of suggestions based on that one term of what I should be bidding on, possibly. Like Prague Castle, even though I would never do that if I'm a hotel, of course. But Prague Castle's 27,000 monthly searches in the world. And the competition is really low. It would only cost me $1.39. So this is just a really good way of seeing what keywords you want to optimize on your page.
But if it's I have a question. But the main keywords, which usually we are using, it's the most expensive. That means you're gonna pay $1,000 for only for this keyword, like you make hotel in Prague, for instance, right? This is
Well, what's your question exactly?
Because I'm doing it, so I'm trying to figure it out.
Sure.
Because it's really hard. I'm just reading this whole book of how to create a Google Ads, and I'm stuck on this keyword because they always writing me that it's kind of an error because for instance, to sell property, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and should I, for example, better to write specifically where I'm selling it, or it's better to write property and Czech Republic, property in Prague?
It really depends. I mean, you can use I showed this page. Have you used this keyword planning tool?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, so you can use all 4 of these. You can punch in the same keyword, and they'll bring up different types of results. Like you can see, some of them will give you new ideas, some of them will give you traffic. But what they don't tell you here is that each one of these will give you different types of ideas. Mm-hmm. So if I were you, I would just punch in any keyword that you want into these and try looking for ad group ideas. Mm-hmm. That way it'll give you just hundreds of lists. You can just go through and click through, because they'll just give you a random assortment of ideas, and then you can kind of work from there. That's usually what I do when I'm lost. I hope that helped. If it didn't, like, ask me after class,
Yeah.
and I'll help you.
Now, would you also go as far as to just run a campaign just to see what happens?
Yeah, all the time.
Because it's cheap. I mean, it's cheap. I mean, you set the budget, so if you want to spend $5, $10, $100
Exactly.
just to try something out, it's like a little education.
Exactly.
Because what are you
I'm
going
doing
to
it
hurt,
now.
right?
Yeah, so I'll get into this a little bit later, but I just started running a search campaign, even though I was running all display, just for the hell of it, because the suggested bid could be $17, and I can bid $1 and then get a few clicks and see what happens from there. We'll get into AdWords, but yeah, I do that all the time. If you really want to get into keyword research, suggest signing up for a free trial of this software. It's called HubSpot. They're kind of like the market leader for digital marketing right now, or at least SEO and AdWords. They have an awesome keyword tool that could maybe help you with your question. So just quickly talk about webmaster tools. Like I said about getting your site listed. I didn't say this. I'm saying about the XML. So go back to the XML in your brains. It tells Google how my site is structured. So the idea of Google Webmaster Tools is basically a tool for me to go in and say and tell Google like how my data is structured, and tell them which sites and which web pages I want them to list on their searches. It'll also tell me like how many impressions my searches got and how many clicks just on the Google network. And it's a really great tool. So what I do, do they know about indexing? Do you guys know about indexing? Do you know about the Google process of how Google works at all on a very high level?
You guys are killing me.
Same market.
We
No, it's fine. I got the same answer at NYU. It's fine.
we did search. Did not.
Exactly.
What's that?
So very simple. I described this horribly to NYU. Hopefully I'll do a better job. It's very simple. There's you, the user. Just think about it from your perspective only. Don't think about Google. Google has a robot. Just think of it as a robot. That's it. Nothing else. That's what it does. And it searches the web, a billion times a second. Every single web page, it searches. And it finds keywords and analyzes it, puts it into a database. Okay? Just think of this as a database or a library. Okay? I still have you? Okay. Great. Thank you. You're great.
Yeah, we know what database is.
We have a robot who's searching the web, finding every single web page, and putting them all into a database, a library, whatever you want to call it. Then there's you. You come in and you say, I want men's shoes. Men's shoes is pretty easy. And Google goes, oh, I have 100 million websites about men's shoes from my database. And then it uses that super complicated algorithm that you guys don't know, and neither do I. It's very expensive. And it goes and says, well, these are the top 10 that I'm going to display this person based on their previous searches, based on other people's searches, based on people's titles and everything, all their algorithm. And then you get displayed the search results, whatever it is, and then it ranks them.